Hello and welcome to Becoming Saint. Now this is a game where you venture across medieval Italy in an attempt to indeed become a saint. And it's kind of like a personality test to a certain degree, as well as a tactical auto-battler. So we're going to see exactly what's going on here. I'm going to clear all history as well, because I did play twice before, and I'm going to be calling myself something different. So we're going to call ourselves something like, I have no idea, Byron. There we go. Perfect. I'm just going to call ourselves something random. There we go. Assisi, Central Italy, 1349. Dawn approaches. Every night for the past week you were plagued by visions. Today is the day you will answer their call. You are to become a bridge between the divine and the worldly. Your movement will sweep across every corner of Italy, bearing redemption in its wake. As you exit your visionary trance, you realize that now is the time to act. As your first act, your visions must be turned into rules. And so this indeed now takes us into primum precepta, your first regulae for your followers, give direction and guidance even. So this is where we get our first little section of the quote-unquote personality test, and this gives us an opportunity to choose between 3 different animals that are going to be our pet. So I'm going to go for the wolf here. You can see that this basically does a couple of different things. You can see exactly why I'm going to pick this. And you can also now have this, which is now going to fundamentally change the kind of saint that you're trying to be. So you see here, follow only your own counsel and you shall be saved. Join my flock and you shall be saved. Follow me, you are saint, and you shall be saved. I'm going to go for the first one. The middle one, shall we say. Then we have donate to the movement and you shall be saved. Donate to the movement, trust in me and you shall be saved. Or leave all your worldly possessions, trust in me and you shall be saved. We're going to go for the middle one. There we go. And we can now bless our choices. So this is where it now gives us a personality sort of thing. Aha, we're becoming an anarchist. Okay, so our personality at the moment is anarchist, and we are going to be getting some followers as a result of our choices there. So these followers will then be blessed, and we're going to see exactly how we become a saint. So this is on conversion. So we're just going to very quickly go through this so you understand how things are going on so that I don't have to explain it when we're actually in a battle. Anyway, believers from rules. You're now developing a movement and trying to become a saint. Your choices determine who wants to follow you. Believers. Currently these types. You pick among believers who will actually follow you, followers that you'll need to feed. You haven't picked any yet. With your followers, you may march to towns to convert them. Conversion is through non-lethal battles called confrontations. Once a follower, always a follower, unless they decide to leave or get dispersed. You'll need to feed all your followers after a confrontation and keep charisma above 0 to not lose it all. And then back to choices. If you change your overall political orientation, you may even change previous choices. Some followers may leave, and you may gain new believer types. So that's basically how it works. That's basically the gameplay loop in a nutshell. And so we are going to be giving our speech now, and let's see what the consequences are. You have new followers ready to become new believers even, ready to become loyal followers. And we can see here we have these guys, and we're going to just put them on the little thing here, and we're going to be getting some additional food and everything. And now we can pick a town, and this is our world map. So you can see here, you can go to each and every one of these towns and attempt to convert it. There are different difficulties of town. For example, as you can see here, this is the resilience to conversion of this town, which is 8. So it's way too high, in my opinion, for us to go to. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a quick look and see which one is looking pretty good. We'll go here. We will go to Gubbio at the moment. And that is what we'll do. And you can see a little shall we say, a little overview of what kind of enemies you're going to be fighting here. You can change your town if you want to, and you can also take a look at your food and everything, but we're going to march nevertheless. Let's march for Gubbio. Yes, let's do it. There we go. Your political choices determine who is willing to follow you, and your political choices determine how effectively you lead and convert towns. So because we're an anarchist, my ability to use curses is increased. Basically what that means is that when I use a curse in battle, it's going to be more effective. Using curses can only be applied to enemies. Blessings, however, can be applied to your own people. And then you have chances as well, but that's nothing to really be talking about right now. Anyway, given your available forces, you seem ready for converting Gubbio. In absolute terms, it should always be possible to convert this town because the town resilience is very low. We're going to just put these guys up here. There we go. Put them, and then we're going to go. And when we're marching, we do have the ability to beg for food. As you see here, some of your units may go begging for food, which is very, very important. Now, we can distribute the food. We can give to the poor if we want to, or we can put some into our stash, and we're going to be putting most of it into the stash. Because let me tell you, food is very, very important. You can see here, basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to feed small portions to begin with, and then once we have taken the town, we're going to be having a plentiful meal there, and then we're going to be continuing onward. The march towards Gubbio ends. You and your selected followers are there. Now you'll attempt conversion. And this is going to be our battle. So this is all, as I said, in real time, and you can obviously have active pause and all that wonderful stuff too. So we're going to go, and we're probably going to attack this, I think. This, there we go. And we're going to be going here. Yeah, I think we'll actually just go here like this and like that. There we go. And now we can start. Now what I'm going to do is we will be attempting to avoid the ranged attackers. I'm going to be cursing this guy over here. As you can see, the energy is very, very low right now. Can we move them over here? Yes, we can. There we go. And then we can curse these ones over there too. Very nice. We are losing charisma when we use curses as well, by the way, but there you go. Both of the enemy forces have now been eliminated, and now we are going to be dealing with the boss. And the boss is this guy right here. Thankfully, we should be fine here. The boss unit cannot actually be cursed, unfortunately, but it's okay, because we are fine. There it is, and the town has now been converted. Yes. Wonderful. And now that means that we're going to be getting some food. And you can see here we get some feedback as a result of what we've just done. So you see here, you set targets for all units at the start. This can help in reaching the right target at the beginning. Very nice. And this is an idea for converting the stubborn. If you have some charisma to spare, you can use blessings to reinforce your units up to a point. What will happen now in Gubbio? And this is now going to play a couple of different events. You can see here, before leaving Gubbio Consequences, we collected 8 food from there. We're going to convert 4 enemies of 2 kinds. Are you going to give them 4 food? Yes, we're going to be giving them some food. And they're going to go and spread the word about us. Your economic choices help food production as well. So that's given me 5 food back from there. And then we are going to be having a look at what happens in our original town. You can see here, everybody, back to Assisi, everybody is hungry. And now we can do a plentiful food, little feast. Because if you don't do this, some people will end up leaving. It depends on what kinds of troops you have, of course, but in the past when I've done this, there have been people that have left. So I'd prefer to try to prevent that as much as possible, at least. Anyway, there we go. Night has fallen. Now comes the time to meditate about further rules. And we have this again. There we go. So this is another kind of, personality test kind of thing going on. So we have, our banner shall be a portrait of me, your saint, a white flag, or the image of our sacred pet. Yeah, we're going to go for the image of our sacred pet. Thank you very much. And then we can do this. Beg at those that are weaker than you. Beg at those that are more wealthy, first humbly, then threateningly. Or beg at those that have nothing, for they are your true brothers and sisters. We're going to be doing the more wealthy people, let's face it. And killing is a necessary evil, but you must repent afterwards, or the killing is the only way to cleanse this realm of heretics and heathens. Or killing is a mortal sin with no earthly justification. You could choose any of these, of course. I'm going to be going for a necessary evil, but you must repent afterwards. There we go. You may now bless your choices, and that's what we're going to do. And now it's going to check what we've said, and now it's going to give us a new personality, potentially. No. We have the anarchist right here. All right. And so we now have these believers coming towards us. So we have drunken singers, fanatic ex-virgins, cavaliers, and cursing nuns. There we go. And we are also having a political impact. Yeah, the relationship with the Pope is really pretty bad, but that's okay. That's not that big of a problem, in my opinion. The Pope is not very important. I'm just joking, of course. Anyway, let's give our speech. And we are in chapter 2, of course. So there we go. Let's see what the consequences are. You have new believers ready to become loyal followers. 2 kinds for 2 slots. All right. There we go. Let's get them. Fantastic. And now we can pick a new town. We're going to go to Spoleto. There we go. Let us go over there, and we'll now march over to the new town. Hopefully we'll be able to get a bunch of nice begging going on. Some troops will refuse to beg, by the way, so just bear that in mind. If you decide to, have different choices, then, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But as I said, food is very, very important. I'd probably say maybe it's the most important thing in the game, with the exception of charisma, of course. Charisma, if you have 0, or if it reaches 0, then you will be game over. That's it. Also, if you lose all of your followers in battle, you will also have a game over. So that's just something to bear in mind. Anyway, we're going to give a little bit of food to the poor here, just to gain a little bit of extra charisma, and there we have it. Okay, so I have 29 food, 23 charisma. Halfway into the march, you will stop for a repast. The march effort is small due to the brief distance. Okay, so I'm just going to feed small portions, like I said before. I personally feel like this is fundamentally much better to do than anything else, because we don't really want to spend a huge amount of food here and then have a huge amount of food expenditure later on as well. So let's begin. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to curse this guy straight away. We're going to bless these ones. There we are. And now we should have a pretty easy time of things, or at least I hope so. We should probably curse this one too. There we go. They're all out of there. Thank you. And this one is going to be out of there in just a second. There we are. Fantastic. And now we just have the boss to deal with. Unfortunately, our units are having some issues. They apparently are not being able to enter this battle. So I'm not sure how we... I probably should have told my forces to move a little bit. Because the funny thing is, while it is an auto-battler, you can guide your units to a certain degree. And you can make them move into certain squares. So it is possible to, direct them to a small amount. But yeah, well, never mind. It's fine. We collected 8 food. There we go. We are going to feed them a little bit because I don't want to damage the economy in this area. And there we go. Your economic choices help food production. We're getting 5. Food produced is 5 from the last conquered town, and we're getting 10 overall food units from our domain, which is very, very nice. And our food is needed, as you could see, we are going to need to feed everyone plentifully, which is going to be costing me 21 food. That's exactly the reason why I said it's very, very important to make sure that your food is as high as it possibly can be, because whenever you feed people, it's extremely costly. Very, very costly indeed. So there we go. We've now captured yet another town, which is very nice indeed. And now we have yet more personality choices. Okay. On the treatment of harlots and doxies. Okay, we're going to say, let me see. Leave them be in peace as long as they let us be in peace as well. On the treatment of actors, we can say all art is a way to connect with the divine, stage folk are to be distrusted for they are liars and thieves, or actors are to be tolerated as long as there is no women folk among them. All art is a way to connect with the divine. On the treatment of those that were born simple, well, we can decide on what we want to do here. The Lord has cursed them so for a reason. We must show charity to them, or they are abominations and should be cast out. We must show charity to them. There we go. You may now bless your choices. Now let's see what's going to happen, because I highly doubt we're going to be an anarchist still. No, we're going more pacifist now. This is quite amusing. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but there you go. All right, so let's see what happens. So we're gaining a couple of extra followers now, and these followers are obviously going to be added to our flock potentially. I'm not really going to be super anxious to get any of these, because, there we go, cursing nuns have left. One kind of follower may level up. Barefooted beggars upgraded. Very nice. Okay, that's actually fantastic. And, yeah, these units do beg. Okay, that's nice. Can I upgrade these? I actually don't know how they upgrade. We do have synergy with certain people as well, by the way. Certain units have synergy with certain other units. Like, for example, we have these right here, which we're probably going to be using because they have good synergy. You can see here that the sex workers with flowers are very, very good with the peasants with a club. They work together very, very well. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be a good idea for us to go with those. Now, let's actually take a look and see if we can... Yep, this is perfect. Okay, let's go here, because this is another power 0. You know, their resilience is very, very low to conversion, so that's exactly what we want. Now we're just going to be taking everyone that can beg, of course. I know for a fact that the sex workers with flowers, they do not beg, so I'm not going to be taking the... Actually, I do have to take them, don't I? Yeah, I kind of do have to take them because we are going to need them in combat. So I almost left them behind. That would have been not so good, I guess. That would have been not so good, but hopefully we're going to be getting a huge amount of food with the other people that are begging right here. Yep, we're getting a lot. Very nice. We need it for sure. Okay, so I have a huge amount of charisma, so all I'm going to do right now is literally just put every single little bit of food and distribute it into my storage. It's very, very important that we do that. I'm going to be feeding small portions once again, and then here we go. Let's get into the battle, and let's see how we go here. All right, so we need to have these working together, and we're gonna move these over here, and these ones here, these ones here. These guys are ranged, aren't they? I think they might be ranged. Yeah. I think they're both ranged, actually, so this is not going to be super impactful, but I guess we can just try our best. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're going to curse this. And we're gonna bless these guys. There we go. The Exorcist Bishop is already destroyed. That was very, very quick because we do have our synergy here. Let's move these guys. There we go. We want to make sure that they're in position for the boss. And no doubt, it's going to be very important. We can bless them as well if we want to. I'm not sure if we're getting... No, we're not getting low at all. Look at our people right now. Our people are absolutely destroying everything that they come across. That is wonderful. So now we have converted this town once again. There we go. You maneuvered your launching units so that they could launch garbage on the heads of your enemies. Well done. Yes, indeed. Did you notice that? Yeah, I did that. Hilarious enough. Anyway, if your unit is almost gone, set it in trance to preserve it. It will not attack, but it will focus on defense. Yeah, so that's what trance does. It's a sort of like defensive measure just in case you're going to lose someone. They can tank a little bit more damage. So it's kind of nice to do that. Okay, so we're collecting 8 food from the city. We're going to be giving them 6 food because I don't want to damage the economy of this particular town. Because if you don't give them food, then the economy is not going to work. And as you can see, they're going to be giving me 6 food back, which is quite nice, because that means that I've basically lost nothing. And my domain is giving me overall 16 food. Let's take a look. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I actually needed 33 food to be able to make this work. And unfortunately, I don't have enough. So we're going to have to do this. And as you can see, we've just lost 12 charisma and 3 units. All of these fellows left. That's exactly the reason why I said to you just now, food is very, very important. And now we've lost some really, really good people. Anyway, here we go. This is the next one. The loyalty of new towns shall be only to our movement. How shall merchants in converted towns be treated? Well, we can burn their houses, and loot their wares, tax them, or allow them to prosper. Well, we're probably going to allow them to prosper, of course. Elected officials of converted towns are to be exiled, for they cannot be trusted, or killed, for we must not show mercy to those that have opposed us, or allowed to swear allegiance to our cause. Allowed to swear allegiance to our cause, of course. There we go. We always want a couple of politicians in our pocket, right? Yes, that sounds absolutely perfect. We're still a pacifist, hilariously enough. Food production is now good with that, which is actually quite nice. And let's see what kinds of followers we're going to get. Because, of course, we do gain followers every single time we address a crowd in a town. So it's not all bad. You know, if you don't have enough food to give people, then it's not all bad. Oh no, peasants with a club have left. Oh dear. Okay, we might have a bit of an issue here. My barefooted beggars are literally staying with me this entire time. They are absolutely insane. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to even do this with me being only able to get, you know, one or two people every single time. As you can see right here, I don't have enough to do this, unfortunately. So, yeah, that doesn't really help me that much. I actually wonder if there's a way for me to increase the amount of believers I can turn into followers, because I'm literally going to be running around with 3 followers. I guess this is a good opportunity for me to, well, kind of gain some more, you know, because I'm not having a huge amount of people. So maybe this is going to be somewhat good, because I think they're all probably going to be begging for food. I think they all will beg for food, and that's going to be... Oh, no, never mind. Those fellows are indeed refusing it. All right, well, we can give a bunch into storage here. And now this is where we're going to have an issue. So feed small portions, of course. As you see, if you don't give them anything, then I would lose 55 charisma, and that would be an instant game over. So definitely something to bear in mind. Anyway, this is going to be super, super simple for us. We shouldn't have too many issues whatsoever. These fellows have massive amounts of faith, as you can see. Let's move those guys over there, and we're just going to go. Yep, we're just going to go straight up. And we should probably bless them straight away as well. I'm not entirely sure if blessing actually makes a difference, to be honest, in this case, because I think they're more than likely going to be fine. I should probably bless these guys, though. There we go. The Exorcist Bishop is done. Let's try and do some damage here. Curse those guys, because I'm not going to be able to use Curse on the enemy boss. And so it's probably going to be a good idea to do that from there. And now we can continue onward to it. And that is going to be a victory, I believe. Surprisingly enough. You can also take a look at their stats, as you can see right here. And yeah, easy enough, right? Easy enough. But the problem is food. Food is going to be the issue. Yes, food is going to be the big, big issue. You seem to have used all the basic techniques available. There we go. Remember, you can move units also during confrontation. Yes, well, we do know that, but my people were absolutely fine. I believe, at least. I believe they were doing a good job. Yes, they were doing a nice job. Anyway, before leaving, they now follow us. The town has been converted, and these units are refurbished. In other words, they have regenerated themselves. And we're going to be collecting 8 food from the town. Are we going to have to give people some things? Yeah, we'll give them 8 food. I mean 5 food even, because we just gained, 3 from that overall, which is pretty nice. And we also produced an additional 4 from that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty wonderful. And we also gained another 20 food. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, as you can see right here, feeding everyone plentifully is going to be 21, and that is exactly what we'll do. Everyone leaves the party happy, and we still have 17 food in our storage. There we have it. Okay, so that is wonderful. Now we have this town. We're then going to be able to move on and again do more personality test stuff. So, when there is a leper colony near the conquered town, visit these wretched souls and ask them to join the movement, leave them be, or set it ablaze so that the fire might cleanse them of their sins. I don't even really know, to be honest. Leave them be, I guess. How shall the outlying lands be reallocated? They shall be given to the peasants that cultivated them. They shall be redistributed among my followers, or they shall belong to me and my order. Yep, they shall belong to me and my order, of course. What shall barren fields be used for? Use them to plant crops and raise livestock, to build houses for those of my followers that are in need. They shall go to the church. We're going to build houses, of course. There we go. Alright, that seems pretty good. Political impact on charisma, good. We're having a bit of a lower food production, but that's okay, I suppose. And we are an anarchist again. So we went from pacifist, well, basically we went from anarchist to anarchist again, or pacifist twice, and then anarchist again. So that's very amusing. And we are collecting 27 food, which is very nice. And aha, now we have the ability to convert 3 different people. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get these guys, there we are, and then we can pick a new town. And I believe most of these new towns are going to have significant power. This one has 1. So this one should be obviously pretty good, right? This one should be pretty fine. So we should do that. Actually, you know what? Let's go for power 4. Okay, let's go for a 4 power one, because if this doesn't go particularly well, then I'm gonna get to show you that this game actually has almost infinite replayability, because you can basically, if you die or if you lose a battle, then your saint is executed by the state, as you might expect. And then you eventually become a saint after a certain amount of years. And it just very much depends on what actions you've taken, how long that actually is. So I personally think that that's really, really cool, and I'd like to show you that. So I might actually just kind of kill myself just to see. Okay, what's actually going on here? Bless you, I am the Bishop Simon. Will you make a donation of 10 food to the church in order to save your soul? Sure. Your inconsistent policies and actions decrease your charisma. Relationship with the Pope has improved. Yeah, well, that is the only reason why I did that, by the way, because I don't want to, I actually don't want to annoy the Pope that much. I don't really mind if he's a bit annoyed, but I don't really want him to be sending, assassins to kill me or something. I don't even know whether that's even possible, but, just in case, okay? Just in case. I don't really want him to be super crazy at us. Okay, so we're just going to send these guys over here, send these here, send these here. I don't even know whether these guys are ranged or not, so this might be somewhat problematic. I think these guys are actually ranged. Are they actually ranged? No, they're just the barefoot beggars. No, they're absolutely fine. Okay, so we're just going to curse these fellows. I think we should be okay. I mean, all things considered, I think we should be fine. These guys are taking the most damage. Gonna bless them. It's gonna give them a little bit more power to do what we need them to do. Let's send these fellows over here. Hopefully they're gonna help out. There we go. Nice. Come on. Yeah, there we go. He's alive still. He's alive. I'm going to send him away. So he doesn't die instantaneously. Let's send this guy over here now. There's no way through, unfortunately, but we're going to be sending our guitar-playing drunken singers over here. Oh, no. They seem to be getting focused down, but that's okay, because we've actually done it. Okay, hilariously enough, The town that I thought was going to be an absolutely massive slaughter for us has actually worked out, surprisingly enough. But yeah, I guess I'm going to show you my previous saints, shall we say. But that's the point. The game does have significant replayability, and that's what I actually wanted to show you. But, well, clearly I have learned how to play the game a little bit better than I did before, because I was just dying very, very quickly before, but apparently not this time. So, very interesting. Not sure why that is, but alright. I guess it's because I'm just prioritizing food this time around, because last time I was being way too generous, and I was giving food to pretty much everyone that I could. So yeah. Yeah, so we're going to lose a couple of people this time. As you can see, we lost 18 charisma and 4 units. This is real bad. And there it is, obviously. The town has now... Oh! Okay, yeah. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. The Pope is now going to go on a crusade against us. Yes, in retaliation for your continued attacks, the Pope has proclaimed a crusade against you, and his forces have retaken the city of Assisi. What resources do you commit to the reconquest? And so he says here, Beloved brethren, urged by necessity, I, Pope of the Holy Church, Chief Bishop and Prelate over the whole world, have declared a righteous crusade against the usurper wench. She would call herself Saint, when in truth she is a servant of Moloch himself. Her false teachings have led many good believers astray, and I say no more. Let us meet her forces in the city of Assisi and put an end to her campaign of heresy. And so, obviously, he is now going to attack us, and as you can quite clearly tell, because I didn't have enough food, this is going to lead to me being absolutely 100% destroyed. I do not have enough forces to deal with 12 power. That's absolutely impossible. Like, there's nothing that I can do about this. I am 100% going to die. There is just literally nothing I can do. I can try to bless a little bit. And I can try to curse a little bit, but that is just fundamentally not going to work, as you can quite clearly tell. And that's it. Yeah, that is just, there's just no way. We could try to bless again, I guess. Nope, that was a bit too late, unfortunately. Oh well, never mind. And I believe our forces are gonna get out of there. They are done. There you go. Failure in Assisi, and because I no longer have any followers, which is also potentially a good strategy to have. Maybe you want to keep some followers back just in case you do end up losing. So you can see here, thank you for speeding up all this drama. It looked excessive and repetitive. Because I actually used the speed up button one time. You can control units' movement completely by hand if you mistrust the deranged developers of this game's AI. Indeed. No, I certainly do not, but, you know, sometimes it's a good idea. Anyway, your run is over. Assisi is lost. The Pope's crusade is successful. You get captured in Assisi by the guards of the Pope and are brought to trial. The Inquisitors analyzed your life and actions and found you supported 15 heretical beliefs, devastated 5 towns, misled 63 honest believers. Hence you are condemned to death by being burned at the stake, to be executed by the secular arm of the Pope. As dawn breaks, you are led from your cell in heavy shackles and escorted by the Pope's guards. You refuse one last chance for repentance, and then the flames climb high. And so, 1600 years, you are actually proclaimed Saint Byron in 2950. That is hilarious. There's a reason why that's hilarious. If you look at my other characters, I had Bertild and Garbage. This is very funny because Bertild, as you can see, became saint after 179 years, which I think is pretty good, actually. Garbage became saint after 270 years. But Byron took 1600 years. Wow. Okay, that is hilarious. But yeah, you can go to here anytime you want, and you can take a look at all of your old characters, and you can see when they died and how long it took them to become saints and so on and so forth. And there is an easy mode as well. So if you want to, you know, actually see more of the game, then you could just turn that on and then play. I haven't actually tried that out, so I have no idea. But if you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. There's a playtest running right now. Add it to your Steam wishlist and all that wonderful stuff, and then you can play it for yourself, or just in general, if you like the look of it, then you can add it to your wishlist to be notified when it releases, or, you know, whatever. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.